Oh, my lands, here we go again. Another great adventure, another yarn to spin. Every time we get together, what a mess you'll find us in. Oh, my lands, here we go again. Oh, my lands, here we go again.
Oh, my land, y'all. It's Kathleen and Nikki.
We can't wait to share what we're up to in this episode.
Here we go. Well, y'all, in this episode, we thought we'd talk to you about setting up our camp at Fuller's and just how that whole night went. Because, of course, the gentleman who owned it, he and his wife owned it, they did the setup for us. And they didn't set up our camp, but, set up where the trailer was parked. So it got me to thinking about setting up camp when I was a kid. And I just remember it was such a chore setting up that humongous canvas tent. Now, I'm a kid, so it seemed humongous. It probably was a 12 by 12, but as a kid, it felt like a 2-story house. And it had a gazillion poles, because back then, the poles weren't connected with the little stretch cords. You had to find them all, stick them together. There was always arguing and fighting going on. Nobody was getting along. You just didn't like setting up camp. I mean, it was a chore. And so I never enjoyed it. But I have to say, I have told people that pulling lemon drop, you've seen her. We actually haven't recorded any pictures yet of what she looks like on the inside, but she's just cute as a button on the inside. And, now she's been, put together with a lot of caulk and the duct tape and even some, what's that sticky paper that you put in drawers? I don't know.
Contact paper?
Oh, yeah, she got some contact paper on her walls, too. If I could get her to stick together, I glued her together. But I tell you what, I never had a problem setting her up.
No, it was fun every time.
Yeah, and I would tell people, we would be set up in about 30 minutes. We got faster and better as we went.
Yes.
We did. So we get into camp, and the gentleman, parks her in and levels her, and we get out to unhitch the trailer. And I had been practicing this with my husband. I had been hitching her up by myself and unhitching her while he watched. But we was all on our own here.
Mm-hmm.
Just two Southern chicks camping. I thought it was by ourselves. Because, you have this safety, like when other people are more experienced and with you, and there's like this safety. We wear each other's safety nets.
Right. And all I had ever done was guide your husband how to back the truck up, because he connected the trailer to the truck before we left. We didn't even do that. He did it for us.
Yes.
Because I think he was tired of us and he was mad we were going, and he just wanted us to get on the road and get out the way.
Yeah, he was anxious. He was a little stressed over it.
And you were still running around like a chicken with your head cut off.
I know.
So I just guided him on how to back up.
Yeah, so we pull her on, she's pulled on in, and we undo it, and we scotch the tires. Of course, he had also done that for us, and I had not realized that. But we, did that, and we unhitched it, and I bought the cutest ever little vintage awning to attach to the lemon drop. And it was still in its original packaging. It hadn't even been opened ever. So, Nikki, I say to her, now listen, I've watched a YouTube about this, and I just know we're not going to have any problems putting this on and on. And you're taller than me. So I think you might be able to do it easier than me.
And so that time we did it by backing the truck up next to Lemon Drop, and I climbed up in the back of the truck and used the tailgate.
Yeah, as the ladder.
Yeah.
And the awning did attach, like really easy. I mean, it just slid right along in that track. I mean, we had that one gummed up area at the end, and we had to go, we got to use the other end, because there was like caulk in the track from years and years past.
And I remember saying, well, here, it's just caulk. We'll pick it out. And you said, Nikki, I'm afraid that it might cause a leak on the inside. We just don't know what that caulk's there for. Let's just leave it.
That's true. I sure did say that, because boy, she is put together with some caulk. So we got it set up, got a little chairs out around the fire pit, looking right at the lake. We got the lights going. Now, guys, these were some solar lights, and we put the charger out, and I was all excited. I tested them at home, and they worked just fine at home, and they was unique and all cutesy. And so we got all that hung up, and
but we couldn't figure out, they weren't working, and we couldn't figure it out. And we're not going to tell you yet why, because it was a aha moment when several days later we finally figured it out, and it was funny.
Oh, yeah, because even though we attached them, they did not work.
We had charged them. They sat out in the sun while we went and ran errands.
And we could get them to flicker on, and then they flicker off, and we were just like, what in the world? Oh, y'all, and this cutest ever awning, I had the tent poles, and we didn't put the extra length on them. So our awning was dipping, and we had to use this metal pole to hold the awning up to open the camper door. But at the next campsite, we figured that out, that add the extender, and then it looked like perfect.
Yes, and I didn't have to duck to go under the awning.
I know.
You never had to duck anyhow, but I did have to duck.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and my stepdad said, well, how'd you know to set that all up like that? I said, I just knew.
Yeah, your stepdad didn't have a lot of faith in us.
But I said, I just knew. Well, you know, he's an engineer, so he has all that mechanical thinking all the time.
Yeah.
And so anyways, as we told you in one of the earlier episodes, the back of the truck, not the tailgate, but the back seat portion, looked like a home had exploded in chaos. And we did not have any drinks, any food to like eat. Nikki had some snacks, but we didn't have any food to eat. And so, you know, my husband for years has told me, why do you pack everything before we go? You know, there's grocery stores where we're going, and you can just get it when we get there. And, you know, I just never would do that. Well, this trip forced me to do that. And I'm going to tell you, I think I might do this every time. Because we went through the little town of Buchanan, cute as a button.
Mm-hmm.
Patriotic. I mean, they had flags on every little light pole, and they were the veterans from that town.
And then they had the big, beautiful, giant-sized flags that were hanging in the middle.
Yeah, big American flags, yeah.
Oh, no, it was just gorgeous. Strung from building to building across the street.
Yeah, I mean, it just looked like it belonged on a postcard.
Mm-hmm. It looked like it was right out of a movie or a TV show.
Yes.
This whole town, the lake, the town, the everything.
I know. It kind of makes you wonder, did they ever film a movie there?
I know. We need to Google that.
Yes, because it was precious. So at the end of town, there was a DG, and I go in, and Nikki stays back in the car. She's going to try to find us something to eat, to buy at a restaurant, to take back. I'm in the DG and I'm just buying up anything and everything that I think we might need for a few days. I mean, it was just picking up and tossing in, including, soap to wash my body with, because I had forgot that at home too. And so we got our, goods, and Nikki found this great little pizza place. I don't remember the name of that little town. I'd have to look it up. But it was a cute little town too, right down the road from Buchanan. Niles? Was it Niles?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Niles, Michigan is right down the road from Buchanan. It too was adorable. Had a really pretty little bridge in that town. And we got pizza there that was absolutely delicious. And because we even eat it the next day for lunch at the Dunes, because I was like, ooh, lunch is already paid for. We just ate cold pizza right on out the cooler. So we get back that night, we're sitting down, and I mean, we're proud of ourselves.
Yes, and if you're following our social media, we have already posted some pictures from Fuller's. And one of the pictures that we've posted, and we have gotten so many comments about, was our bathroom.
Yes. It had a lake view.
Yes, we had a lake view toilet.
Yes, and in fact,
with a skylight.
Yes, absolute best photo Nikki got of the full moon. She kept wanting this moon photo, y'all. I was driving her around camp after our showers, trying to get her just the perfect spot to look at the full moon. Well, lands about 3 or 4 in the morning. She got up, and there was the spot. And she took a picture, and I think that picture's even posted. But we were eating dinner. We were proud of ourselves. We had done everything on our own and eating pizza, and decided, it was time for bed and, go take showers. Y'all, I got up, turned to the left, and tripped something awful over that metal fire pit. It wasn't, it was like a really thick, like a cast iron.
Yes, it was a huge. We weren't using the fire pit.
No,
we were just sitting around it while we were looking out at the lake and eating.
It was too hot.
It was still. We were still in the middle of the heat wave, and Michigan was feeling the heat wave. But there was a storm brewing.
Yes,
and it didn't happen that night. The storm didn't happen that night, but the wind was. It felt like you were in Chicago.
Oh, yes. It was powerful because it was blowing everything everywhere. Like our napkins. If it was lightweight, whoo!
It was blowing across the campsite. And didn't it blow one of the poles out on the...
Oh, yes, it did.
Canopy.
Yes.
We had to fix it again. And it was pretty intense wind, but it was still beautiful.
Oh, yes. It was just peaceful. It was peaceful, relaxing. I got up to, go take a shower and tripped right over that. Nikki or I will post one picture in particular when we're in Holland, and you'll see this massive bruise on my thigh. And it was when I fell over that fire pit.
Yes, you had bruises on your thigh, on your side, under your armpit.
Oh, yeah, and I had a cut across the front of my leg.
Yes.
It's still rough down there.
Yeah, and I'm such a good friend. I just laughed.
Oh, yeah. It was payback, y'all. Payback. Because when she was a little girl and I got hurt, she got hurt, all the time. I just laughed till about paid myself, and she'd get so stinking mad at me for laughing at her.
Yeah, that is a true story.
But, you can't help it. It's funny when someone gets hurt. It's not funny, but, you have this reaction to laugh. You can't control yourself.
Right. I was going to say, I did come to your side to try to help you get up, but it was a little difficult for me because I was laughing.
Oh, I know. And I was just like, thank you, Jesus. I landed on sand.
Yeah.
It wasn't on concrete. It wasn't on gravel. It was on sand.
And your mouth didn't hit the edge of the fire pit.
No, it didn't.
Because that would have. That would have taken a tooth out.
Oh, my word, y'all, it would have. But we, loved staying at Fuller's. Absolutely loved it. With the people, so nice. It was so peaceful and quiet. It was the middle of the week, too.
And it was, so I don't have a lot of experience camping. I have no experience camping in a camper. Any camping that I've done has been tent camping. So this Fuller's resort and campground was just mind-blowing to me because all these campers were set up and a lot of them were just permanently there. The owner explained to me that some people rented for a few days like we did, but the majority of their lots have like 6 months to a year contracts. And people come and park their campers there and they stay there. So we're talking there was elaborate decorations, flower pots.
Koi ponds.
Yes, koi ponds. Flowers planted in the ground. I mean, it was just blowing my mind. And it was just beautiful. And you just felt like you were in a sweet little community. People had built docks. Like the lot that we had did not have a dock.
No.
But it was obviously one that no one is there permanently. But around us, those were lots that people were there permanently. They had built docks from their plot out into the lake. It was just beautiful. We were just in love. The town was beautiful.
Well, we were so in love and we were so relaxed. And I think I was even more relaxed because it had been a stressful 2 days of driving, pulling lemon drop for the very first time. And it gave me a time to just completely unwind. And I didn't want to leave.
No, you did not. As a matter of fact, you tried to talk me into Nicole. And we've already talked about this, that she'll call me lots of different names. But there's a tone in Nicole that she gets when she's not joking. And she had that tone.
Yes.
And so it was Nicole. I'm thinking we need to just stay here another night.
I did. And we were going on to Muskegon when we left Fuller's and Muskegon, Michigan. And the price of that campground is extremely affordable. It's a Muskegon County-owned campground. And I was like, we won't lose a lot of money. If we add another night here, we can see if it's available. And we thought about that. And so that leads us to this episode's piece of advice. Because in the end, we did not even ask. We came back that night from running errands, and no one was there. And I just kind of took that as a sign and thought, no, we need to move on. And it was easy to be there. I mean, someone had backed up the camper for me, and I wasn't having to pull it. It was easy. It was beautiful.
Shower house and all that. It wasn't close to us, which is why we had to set up our portable toilet. But the shower house was clean and you just felt comfortable.
Yes.
We made friends with some of the people around us.
It felt safe.
Mm-hmm.
And so we think that sometimes we can become too comfortable and we don't want to push ourselves to explore something new or to explore the rest of the journey that you're in. because you're happy in the spot that you're in. And sometimes when we get really comfortable and happy in the spot we're in, we don't push ourselves to discover what else is out there.
Because the unknown is scary.
And change is scary.
Right.
And I was scared. What if my backup plan didn't work at the next location? What if somebody didn't come out and say, oh, let me just do it for you? I mean, that was part of it.
Right. And what you said was, this is so beautiful. What if the next place isn't as beautiful as this? This is just so beautiful. I hate to leave here.
That's true. That was it too.
And I said, Kathleen, I'm happy to do whatever you want to do. But what if the next place is just as beautiful?
Yes. And because at that time, Fuller's is the most beautiful campground I have ever stayed in. And still, after this trip, it is the absolute cleanest place I have ever stayed in a campground. And shoot, it was way cleaner than the hotel we were in.
Oh, yeah.
And so, you're right. I mean, I was very comfortable. But it was a good thing that we moved on.
Yes, you'll hear in upcoming episodes that sometimes you just have to push through and move on to the unknown, because there can be great reward in that. So don't allow yourself to sit still in the comfort.
Yes, because we did get a big reward after Fuller's and would have been so disappointed in ourselves if we had not continued the adventure and stopped it right there. We would have missed a lot.
Yes.
Well, y'all, we hope you can use that piece of advice or tweak it to fit your life and or your friendships. If you have a question that you would like us to answer or a piece of advice that you would like us to share, email us at ohmylands@gmail.com.
Oh My Lands, Here We Go is produced by Nick Lean Productions. Our song, OML Here We Go Again, was written and performed by Joey Boone. Copyright 2022, Joey Boone, eDaddy Music, ASCAP. You can follow Joey on Facebook and Instagram at Joey Boone Music. You can also reach him at joeyboonemusic.com. If you enjoyed the Oh My Lands, Here We Go podcast, please subscribe and review us. This helps us to keep sharing our adventures. You can find us at Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at Oh My Lands, Here We Go.
Seriously, y'all, thanks for joining us on this adventure and laughing with us as we go. Hope to see you next time.